Cool. Little lights out. Good way to start our show. So welcome to Q&A 2 at the Spark Amp Owners Club here. This is a lot of fun for me. Second time we've done this, and we'll jump right in. So I've got a bunch of questions that we've gotten from you guys online. You can feel free to enter some questions here, and we'll answer those as we can, or I will. It's only me. And so let's get some housekeeping out of the way first. Bruce Tedeschi wants to know, will you address the horrible shipping delay problem that Positive Grid refuses to answer in emails? Why don't you provide a phone number? Well, absolutely. We're happy to address it. And um, when this started, it actually, we're manufacturing the amplifiers as you're placing your orders. So the delay has shortened over time. Some people have been waiting a very long time, but they were waiting for manufacturing and then shipping from overseas. And you combine those things, and then you're hit by, component shortages, COVID, supply chain interruptions, and all sorts of things that messed up the whole system. So some people have been waiting a very long time. We're sorry about that. But we have really improved our output from the factory, and orders, as you can see online, a lot of people are receiving their Sparks much quicker now, and seems to be going much better, and there's still a lot of room for improvement. So I understand everybody's frustration that's still waiting. I promise you it's worth it. This amp really is a lot of fun, and we appreciate your support. As far as not having a phone number, well, we're an internet-based company, and we've been doing business that way for over 10 years, supporting software, and that's a better way of doing support for software, because you need to have things in print to follow procedures and things like that. But we are reevaluating our systems, and we will be making improvements. So, we're still a young company. This is our first endeavor in selling a piece of hardware direct like this. And so there've been some some shortfalls, and we appreciate you sticking with us, and again, we apologize, for that. But they are improving. I'm encouraged from what I'm seeing internally, so it's a good thing. The other thing was, what is being done about orders shipping out of sequence? Well, that was a real unfortunate problem. We've really taken great pains not to ship out of sequence. We ship all the orders by order date. And we have a third party that fulfills our orders for us. And there was a database mismanagement issue, and they just went out of order for a couple hundred units, it looks like. And those are still arriving now. So what they've shipped weeks ago is starting to arrive. So you're still seeing a little of that as people post online that they've received their units. But the problem has been rectified, and they're back to shipping in the sequence they're supposed to. So it shouldn't be an issue moving forward. Let's see. How many units are on back order, or how? Well, we have. Let's see. How many units did you ship last week? We've shipped 6,300 units in the past 2 weeks, and we're going to ship 10,000 in the next 2 weeks, and this will increase also over time until we get caught up, and we expect to be caught up this summer. And then we will have units in stock available for immediate purchase. Let's see, what else do we have? Here's a good one from Richard Weber. I called FedEx. They tell me even though they gave me a tracking number, they have not received the Spark amp in their system. They tell me to contact Positive Grid. Well, there are two possible reasons this can happen. One is the FedEx has not picked up the orders yet. So they're at the warehouse, and they have to schedule the truck, and FedEx has to come and get it. FedEx is running behind. The other issue is sometimes FedEx has a container, and it takes a good while for them to actually unload thousands of units from the container physically and scan them into their system. So if you call FedEx, they actually have the units, but they don't know they have the units. Like, you talk to the average person on the phone. So they're processing them at the hub, Some hubs work quickly, some don't. Some are, you may have seen articles about boxes outside in tents, and news crews filming, but and others are running smoothly. But lately, it seems like things are getting better over there, and if your order is at local distribution stage, you should be receiving it soon. Let's see, what else we got? Okay. How to jam along with songs, and more about voice commands and getting backing tracks for the songs that plays up. Okay, so I can combine these things and show both. Voice commands are pretty cool. I've discovered some things that aren't even in print that seem to work, so that's kind of fun. So we go over to, I'll go back to my main page here, so you can see the amp I'm playing. I've been using this YJM 100. It's Yngwie Malmsteen amp that I downloaded from the Tone Cloud, and I really like it. So I use that a lot. It's very gainy. And so what you do is just go over to this microphone. I don't know if you could see this. Let me know in the comments. And you click this little microphone, and you say, search YouTube. It says search YouTube down there, and it will give me a YouTube search field, and I could type in anything I want here. Let's see what we have. Let's type Jeff Beck. What am I doing? Type in Jeff Beck. Too Much to Lose comes up. It's one of the songs from There and Back that I like a lot. And this one spits out the chords for it, which is really cool. Start playing. Thing is with this, you can move around in different sections. So you want to move forward a little bit. That's pretty neat. So you can move around. So you can cue something up in advance if you want to, if you're doing some sort of performance or live Q&A thing like this, and put your music anywhere you want. You can load up your own original songs as well, and you can have players in your band, maybe subs, can see the chords if they haven't made rehearsals. So there's a lot of cool uses for it. It's pretty neat. And the voice commands are really neat. I mean, you can do things like, let's go back. Somebody had asked me to show how Smart Jam works. I don't think there's very many demonstrations of this, so I'll show it. Let's go back a little further. And click the mic. And you go, follow my guitar. And here's Dave. And we've added Sharon, who's our new drummer we did in the last app update. She's really funky. So we're gonna work with Dave. So you click on Let's Jam and you give it a tempo. And click start. Now I have to play a rhythm in. Let's see if that works. My timing wasn't really good on that. the idea. So you just enter different things and it'll respond this way. And one of the updates that we've done is really cool. You can go and say like you don't want that C sharp. We'll say let's take this A. So you want to change this A. You just hold your finger on it, and you can rename the chord. You can edit the chord. You just click there. So I want to make it a, let's say an A sharp, which will be horrible. So you try that. And so there's the A sharp, and you see if you start back here, there was our A sharp. So yeah, you can edit these as you go, which is pretty neat. And somebody had asked if there's any plans to extend this past 8 bars. Probably. I know our developers are looking at that, but there are some ways around that. If you change your progression within the recording, you can make it seem like it's longer. We can try that real quick. Let's go back here. So to get to that again, you click, without using voice command, you just click on the music notes at the bottom, and then you click create. And there's Dave again. Let's jam. So I changed the progression and it went down to G instead of C. So we'll see what that sounds like. Pretty cool. I do like the way it changes the groove up a lot for you. Gives you different drum beats, which is great. And that kind of will give you different ideas, things you can do. That's a lot of fun. Another fun thing to do is, it's the first version of this, so it's pretty simple right now. But this will get more features as we go on in time, and you'll be able to do more with it. But for now, you can get some crazy things out of it if you try to just mess it up and play too fast or a really wild rhythm or things like that, and then you don't know what you're going to get out of it. And that's a lot of fun to play with. So I like messing with that. Let's see what else we got here. Edit chords, did that. Okay, here's a question that came in. We bundle PreSonus Studio 1, it's Prime 4 comes free with Spark, and PreSonus is just upgraded to 5, Prime 5 now. So there will be, if you just get your Spark now, you'll be able to, you'll automatically be directed to a page to download the newest version, which is great. And we've got a question in with them on existing customers, but I'm pretty confident there'll be an upgrade path for that. So I'll have more information on that. I'll post it in the comments here afterwards. I should even have that today. Let's see what else. Eric, you're amazing. Would you have my baby? Yes, we can try that. Let's see. Okay. Waiting patiently for my delivery, which doesn't bother me, but do you know if power supply has been upgraded to add a ground? So there has been an issue out there on Facebook, people talking about ungrounded power supplies and things like that. We've not had much of a problem with that. It's a very small percentage that we've had, and we've addressed it through customer service. But I've had, probably 100 Sparks through here that I've had for various reasons, setting them up for trade shows and demos and samples and things like that. I've never once had the hum issue. So I think it's more related to environment and things like that. But if you do have a defective power supply or anything like that, we have replacements, and we can take care of that. It's really not a problem. And if you do have a defective spark or anything, we ship them very quickly. You don't have to wait a long time. We've set aside some units just for customer service use, so we can support customers with that. So it works very well. Is it possible? Let's see, Zach Davis says it. I have another question. Is it possible to allow Bias Effects and Bias Effects 2 to output to Spark via Bluetooth? I want to be able to use my Spark hardware to build my test tones, and not have to buy competitors' hardware to output another solution. So, no, actually, Spark does not work with Bias Effects or Bias Amp. It's a different engine. It is based on Bias, but it works differently. But if you need to use, if you want to run, a device that you've got any Bias software on, you can do that through Spark, but not through Bluetooth. You'd have to use your aux-in jack and use a cable like I'm using right here for my iPad, and that works very well. So you'd essentially be bypassing the amp section or the preamp section of Spark and using the power amp for it. And but you'll be able to hear your Bias Effects or Bias Amp tones that way, just like you would monitor anything else. Just by itself, though, it's a great Bluetooth speaker and or amplifier. Basically, we're running amp tones through an FR system here, so it's not just voiced for guitar. You can really use it for lots of applications. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, great suggestion here from Megan Delaney. She says chords and tab for ukulele, bass, and mandolin, please. As I love using Spark with my alternate instruments. In fact, almost more than my guitars. Also, I've heard the diagrams are not visible to people who have red-green color blindness for play along. Actually, yes, Spark does work well with other instruments. I've got, I know there's a professional musician I know out in LA used it for a cello session. It turned out really great. It's great for monitoring things like that. Even upright bass, it'll handle a lot of low end. It is 40 watts and projects well, so it does that. But tabs and content and things like that, possibly over time. But these are all great suggestions, and I've already shared a list with our R&D team, and so they'll be going over that. And we're constantly improving our products, so you'll see that we've had a few firmware updates, and each one of those brings improvement. So it's been app updates along the way. So it's been really good. Is it difficult to, Lee Hampton says, is it difficult to record with Spark? No, Spark has a built-in recording interface. You do need to download a driver for it. It's an ASIO driver for Windows or a Core Audio driver for Mac OS. And once you get that, you plug right into your computer with a USB cable. I already have an external interface. I did some recording earlier this week, and I ran out of the headphone jack straight with a Y cable straight into the my interface, and it sounded amazing. I was really impressed because you're essentially just using a bias-based software at that point direct in. So it sounds amazing. That's what you're hearing right now. I'm going direct through the interface into my computer and back out into a mixer. So really great. I love the tones on this. It's a lot of fun, and I seem to be stuck on this Yngwie amp, but I really enjoy it. But that's a great thing about modelers in general is that every time you find a new amp in the tone cloud and download it, it's like getting a new amp, and it's just really fun. It doesn't get obsolete. Like you can have the most expensive amp in the world sitting in your studio or your home, but you get tired of that sound. You want some other sounds, or you need it for other applications. And these are just great systems. I did a gig last weekend with an AC/DC tribute band. I was Malcolm. That was a lot of fun. That band has to look authentic, so we used Marshall half stacks on stage. So that's a lot of fun doing that. But when we rehearse, I used a processor, a rig I put together using my iPad, and I had bias effects on that. I used a Marshall tone, and it nailed it. And we go straight into the PA and practice through headphones. And here, learning songs and reviewing all that, I use my Spark through my mixer the way I've got it set up, and it's great. So it's this can be part of a much larger system. They're great amps. I probably spend more time playing this than any other amp. Let's see, what else do we have? There's a question. Will there ever be MIDI or foot switching capabilities? Well, it's a hey Paul. It's it's a practice amp, so it wasn't intended for foot switching, but you can actually switch very quickly using a device. Like you can mount your phone or an iPad somewhere near it, and just so it's pretty quick. I don't know that there are plans to add a foot switch or anything. Maybe maybe one day, but can't say. But a lot of people have been asking about that. But it is pretty quick, and you can also change just through the front the preset buttons. What I should do, and some people have asked for just a quick run through on the amp, is just to show the amp itself. So looking at the knobs here, you've got your power switch here. Going from left to right, you've got presets to help you shape your tone. So if you don't even connect an app at all, you've got acoustic amplifiers. I've got the gain up, so it's making everything distorted. Acoustic amplifier, you have bass amps, which are great, or a bass amp. Clean sound is a blackface duo, we call that. Glassy is a two-stone. Gut Crunch is it's a JTM 45 type. I've got all my effects on. So great Marshall tones on these. High gain. American high gain is probably a boogie. So you sound great. And then you 5150, that's nice. And then you've got gain control, which adds preamp gain, adds distortion. Bass or EQ knobs, standard amp fare, bass, mid, and treble. And these are set to react like the amp does itself when you change the EQ on any given model of an amp. One thing I wanted to point out, there have been a lot of people asking about, why does the knob look like it's all the way up, but when I touch it, it's actually it's all the way down, and it sounds like it's off. So these are digital knobs, and they work differently than analog knobs. The preset takes precedent. The software inside the amp will be at a setting, and that overrides wherever the knob is physically set until you touch it. Then the knob takes over. So you might be taking over from the volume being low to the volume and make it high. So we got modulation right now. It's set on. You can see up here that it turns on and off. Now it's on. There's a phase. Double click on the chorus. And do that. So very easy to use. Then you can change the chorus controls just like you would an effect pedal, and they work great. Here's our delay. And you've got reverb here. Looks like lots of controls, very studio quality reverbs. And your overall output is kind of like a global control, and it's not saved as with the presets, but it's your overall volume for all presets. So you don't have to change each one individually. You can just set that. Up here, you've got tap tempo. Like this always flashes, and this shows you what any effects that use a tap tempo, like a delay, would use. So delay a little bit, so you can. It's a lot quicker. That's a hard one to play. Or you can go slow. And then you've got your presets over here, so you can change different. So I've got American Deluxe. That's a deluxe reverb. Great tone on that. And then you've got, the way I've set it up, like this, a little AC30. Tone there. But when I was recording, I loaded a bass tone in it, and I had, you just whatever your needs are. So you just use the presets there for that, and then you've got an infinite amount you can save on your tablet or your phone as well. You've got all these different amps. Blues amps, pop. You can have your favorites and everything. You're looking at that's under the cloud setting here. I've saved all my favorites, things I found in the cloud that I really like. Got a lot of those, or things that you rename yourself. I put those in my favorites so I could find them. But you can also tag your tones now as well. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what's next. Are there any plans to update Android devices for landscape? Yes, they're looking at doing all that. A little slower developing Android because there's so many different Android builds out there. So the development team is working on that, and you'll see with every update, something cool will happen. So it just takes time to get that out there. But yeah, country backup tracks in tones. Actually, you can make a backing track out of anything on YouTube or Spotify. So, all right, I'm getting text here, so sorry for the distraction. All right, Chris. All right, so yeah, but for content, if it's backing tracks, I'm sure there will be more country backing tracks in the future. If not, there's tons of websites out there, and you can use any of those as well, any of those contents. What you can do is make a folder on YouTube and Spotify, and add any of those songs you want to use, and there you can use backing tracks without guitar, things like that, and just add them to that folder, and then search for your folder on YouTube or load it through Spotify and play that way, and that'll work well. Let's see. Let's look at some more comments. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, whatever, mate, you're boring. Great. I'll work on that. Story of my life. Can you print out the chords that Spark is showing? That's a great question. I'm not aware of anything that'll do that, but I will add that to the list. That could be really good. Where can you get a bias head in Europe? I'll answer that in the comments, but yeah, there are dealers. Okay. Bluetooth, talk about that. My voice is too low. Oh, sorry about that. Thanks, John. Thanks for letting me know. Maybe that's a little better. Let's see, we got. Okay. Let's look. I've got pages of questions, so I should go through those too. Warranty period. This is a great question. Fred Harris asks, is warranty period adjusted based on delivery? So warranty begins when you actually receive your amp. So the shipping, it doesn't have anything to do with the shipping and how long it takes to get to you. Just as soon as you get it, you're good. And the company is great support. We really bend over backwards for customers. I've seen them do a lot of great things. So you're covered there. That's not an issue. When is the price going to be $299? As soon as we catch up with all the pre-orders, we'll have Spark in stock and ready to ship, and it'll be full price. And that's it for the pre-questions. Wow, we've gone longer than I thought already. Let's see if there's anything else that I can answer. Shoot me a quick comment in here. And that's right, Stephen McLawrence points out a very good thing in the comments here. This is the whole point of this amp is to have fun while you learn, and it does it pretty damn well. I agree. I think it is a lot of fun. There's a variety of ways you can use it. Just going to a friend's house like Denny does, or I think Saul, the admin of this page, was telling me one of his neighbors, he met a neighbor, and he said, hey, and they got together for a jam, and the neighbor happened to have a Spark, and they both had a Spark jam, and that was really cool. So they're getting out there, and I do want to thank Saul for letting me come in here and do this with you guys. I really enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun, and we'll do more of these, and maybe we'll get some guests and get some people with a personality who could do a better job than me. Maybe that could be good. So anyway, I hope you enjoy it, and I'm just going to sit here and play a little bit, and while the room empties. All right. Let's see, what do we have here? Spark, play a backing track. Let's do this. All right, let's see what we get. Thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun hanging with you guys, and you have a great week. We'll see you soon.